Hello everyone, this is Crystal with Slick Trade, and I'm going to go over some updates to the Afternoon Delight strategy. I know a lot of you have really enjoyed this strategy for the GBP USD. It's a great strategy for Nadex, and it's an expiry of 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday. Okay. Before we get started, I do need to start with a quick disclaimer. Feel free to pause the video and feel free to pause the video and read through the entire disclaimer. But when trading Nadex, IG, forex, or binary options, as with any financial asset, there's a possibility that you may sustain a partial or total loss of your investment funds. As a result, it is advised that you should never invest with or trade upon money which you cannot afford to lose through this manner of trading. Trading involves a real risk of loss. Past performance does not ensure future results. So let's get started. The Afternoon Delight. What I have found out, okay, I've been using this strategy for the past 6 months or so, and I know a lot of you love this strategy. It is a great one. It has a very high probability rate, and if you've been using it, there are updates to it. Okay, so previously we were only using this strategy on the GBP USD, but I found out a couple months ago that this can also be used on the Euro USD. Okay, there's only 3 simple rules and 1 indicator. The indicators that are used, there's only one, is the MACD. The rules to this strategy. 1. Watch your chart on the 15-minute time frame for the GBP and the Euro USD after 12:30 p.m. Okay, you can watch it from 12:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The MACD will most often start a reversal of trend direction during this time. You're going to watch for those MACD lines to cross. This is the crossover. So they're separated, they cross here. And when the cross occurs, enter a 7 p.m. Expiry on the Nadex platform. Now the updates to this strategy. The best update to this strategy is that it can be used on the Euro USD and the GBP USD. Number 2, one very important update is that you use Nadex charts versus the TOS. What I found is some people were writing me stating that the strategy wasn't working for them, and I couldn't understand because I hadn't had any losses on it. So I mean, there were a few times it didn't set up correctly, so I thought maybe that's what they were referring to, but actually it was because from using Thinkorswim, there's a difference in price. So let's say it's 1.57073 on Thinkorswim. This is a Nadex chart right here, but on Thinkorswim it was 1.57063. Okay, that makes a big difference, especially in this one, because there's very little movement during this time period, and that's one reason this strategy works so well, is because there's very little movement. But if you're entering a buy at 1.57073, and on Nadex, it's the 1.57063, and it expires within that 6.3 and 7.3. You've got a problem. And I noticed that when I really looked at it, because I had been using a combination of Thinkorswim and Nadex charts. Like I would just leave my Thinkorswim up because I use it for other strategies, but when I saw that cross, that's when I would look on Nadex, and then I would check that chart to get the correct strike. So it never really dawned on me that many people weren't even looking at that difference, okay? So my suggestion to everyone is only use Nadex charts from here on out on this strategy, okay? The third update is that there's no need to be right at the charts at 12:30. Okay, a lot of you have wrote me consistently like, well, the cross hasn't happened, or it happened before 12, and don't ever take it before 12. Okay, I've found a few times that it loses when it is before 12. And the thing is because there's very little movement, and because this strategy does get tested for the next few hours, just let it go. Come back, you can check the charts around 12:30 or so. And if a cross has occurred, go ahead and check out prices, see if there's anything good. If there's not, go ahead and put in a working order, or just come back around like 4 p.m., okay, or even 3 p.m. And then you'll see like, oh yeah, that really was a good cross, or oh, it's kind of, it dropped a little bit, after 3 p.m., or it rose a little bit after 3 p.m. So, a lot of times you can get a better strike that way. It's just more consistent, and sometimes price, it just goes. So, you might miss out, but from 90% of the time, I'd say, or more, you can come back around like 3 or 4. And if there isn't a good price, go ahead and just set a working order. If it fills, it fills. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Not a big ordeal. Okay. So some examples. All right. I took these screenshots from Cam White with Trading Pub. He has been actively trading this strategy now for a while, and we both love this one, okay? Since the market is not open right now, I grabbed his screenshots because I can't bring up any charts on Nadex to show you guys. I am going to show you after this video some examples on my Thinkorswim, because it's still consistent, okay? It's still the same exact concept and the same indicators. However, the price, the only difference is the price, okay? So that won't matter for examples, okay? I just suggest when you're actually trading it, just use the Nadex charts. A lot easier. Real quick, too. So in this example, all right, right here is when the cross occurred, all right? And the crossover happened at 3:15 p.m. Now, you could have come back. Let's see where this cross is. It's right there. So it's set up to sell because it's been rising, all right? And it was crossed to the downside. So it's set up for a sell. And right here, if you notice, the cross occurred here. However, price rose here. So look at that. You could either get a better strike or a better price, which is kind of cool. So that's just the point I was trying to make with, there isn't a rush to get into it. You don't need to be there right at 12:30. You don't need to be there from 12:30 to 4 either. Just stay calm, all right? If you miss out on a trade, you miss out. It's not a big ordeal, okay? Price really does not move during this time, hardly at all, as you can tell. So you have plenty of time to get into this trade, okay? Now, you notice here, this is where the trade ended, and it settled in the money, okay? The risk was 72.75, and the reward was 27.25. What I have found from this strategy is setting a working order for an 80-20 or 70-30. Risk to reward is the best. Sometimes you can get even better prices. I've seen where you get like 40, I've even seen better than that. But if you're just setting a working order on this every day, I'd set it to 20-80, 70-30. Okay. Over here, we have another example. The MACD cross occurred here. Okay, see it right here. It was in a sell position, and it was going into a buy. Okay, so here's the cross right there. And if you notice in this example as well, look at this, for the next hour, price came down some. So you could have got a better price on that. And if you notice over here, the trade settled in the money for full profit. So this one was bought at 84. Okay, so the risk was 84, the reward was 16. Okay, I usually don't do this. Like I said, I like the 80-20 or 70-30. Here we have another one. MACD crossover happened here. Right there. It was in a buy. Okay, buy position. So we were set to sell. Okay, strike would have been here at the top of that candle where the crossover occurred, right there. And the risk, here's an example of a 60-40. The risk was 60 and the profit was 40. It expired in the money. Okay. The results have been absolutely wonderful in July. And they are as follows, okay? Over the last 20 trading days, a MACD crossover occurred on 17 of those 20 days. There were 17 in the money wins, equaling 340 per contract if your risk was 80-20. Okay, there were 3 no trades where a MACD crossover never occurred. But on a side note, if you stayed on a bullish or bearish side of the MACD on the 3 days that there was not a crossover, and if you could get a trade, then those would have also been winners. Obviously there, a total of 340 minus 0 loss equals 340 profit per contract. On the Euro USD, the past 20 days, there were 11 in-the-money wins at expiry. There was 1 in-the-money trade that expired OTM. Okay, if you risked 80-20, then you lost 80. There were also 8 no trades, no fills. Okay, that came to a total of $220 per contract, minus 80 for the 1 loss, equals a total of 140 profit per contract. Between the two, over the last 20 days, you'd have 480 profit per contract at an 80-20 risk. I think that's pretty good for a very simple strategy. So that's it. If you're interested in learning more great strategies, joining our academy, or checking out our free information on trading, please go to slicktrade.net and we'll see you there. I'm going to show you some examples on my thinkorswim since the market is currently closed. The only difference from Nadex to TOS, like I said, is the price. Okay, so this is still going to give you perfect examples, but just remember, price is the one difference. Okay, so here we go. Here is my thinkorswim. Now I plotted out the Euro USD here. So I guess let's bring that up first. I wanted to show you guys something cool too. If you've been using the strategy, you'll probably love to do this. If you have not, and this is new to you, then just follow the original rules, okay? But here we go. We have the MACD down here. And so let's go, obviously that's a no trading day on Friday. Right here. Okay, so if you notice, Nothing even happened at 12. Nothing happened at 12:30. At 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the cross occurred. Okay. Now, if you notice, price rose a lot after that. Okay, so let's go ahead and just draw in a quick price level. Okay, and sorry. So right here. Now that if you don't understand what I mean by the price is different, there's nothing different about the chart whatsoever. Okay, I want you guys to realize that the difference is right here. This price level is at 1.09284. Okay, and on Nadex it was probably 1.09264. Okay, or something like that. There's a little bit of a difference. So when entering trades, do not go by this number if you're on Thinkorswim. Just bring up an 8x chart. I can't stress that one enough. I don't want you guys losing on this because this is a beautiful strategy that sets up so well. So here we go. Here's our strike. And if you notice, price got tested. And look at that. Came back down, got tested again. You had multiple opportunities to get a very good price here. Okay. Now, this set up for a sell. This was the candle that it occurred on, or I guess it was kind of right in between these two. Either way, so it's set up to sell, okay? And what I mean by coming back at 4 p.m., this right here is 4 p.m. Well, if you're back at 3, you could have got an even better price. But that's what I mean is you don't need to rush into these trades, okay? Just let it go. Set a working order. Set a working order for 40, 60. Set it for 50. I've seen some very, very, very good risk to reward with this strategy. Okay, simply because there isn't much movement and it doesn't test it. Okay, and this right here is a perfect example of that. So just something to think about. Okay, so that is the Euro USD. This was Thursday. Let's take a look at Wednesday. Okay, so here is another example. This is for more advanced users, okay? It's what I'm going to call the double entry, all right? And if you notice here, price, the MACD crossed, okay, a little bit before 2. Look, it's 145 there. Crossed to the upside, all right? So you're setting up excuse me, to buy. Here is another question that some of you have had for me, and that is, do I count, basically is what they're saying, the body as that level, or do I count the candle wick as well? I count the candle wick, unless if it's a really large one, which usually doesn't happen anyways. I do usually count that, okay? But a lot of people I know do not, and they're still doing well. Now, this one would have expired either way in the money for that buy position. But double entry right there. Look at that. The MACD crossed yet again, okay? Right there would have set up for a sell. So you could have put in 2 trades, 2 orders on this Euro USD, a sell here and a buy there, and both would have expired in the money. Something cool to think about. Okay. Right here. Now on this one, the cross did not occur like it normally does. It occurred here. So you're at 5:15, so when market was closed. Market opened back up. Okay. You could have done a buy position there. It would have expired in the money. Okay. Let's switch over to the GU. Okay. Should show you some examples on that. It's the same. It's the exact same. But I still like to show you guys. So, no, that's before 12. Let's go back a little bit. Okay. Here we go. Here's our time. Here's our cross. Cross to the upside. Okay. And and also here, let me change this. You don't need the RSI on this one. I've been using it for a different strategy. So I must have saved the template wrong in here. Okay, or the study wrong. Here was the cross to the upside. This was at 2:30. Okay, so again, you could have came back at 3 o'clock, whatever. And look at this, it got tested that whole time. It got tested even after market opened back up. So here you go. This, since it occurred here, oh, oops, I still have the wrong. I was wondering why it wasn't coming up. Either way, here we go. I'll hold it right there. There was your buy entry, okay? And it expired in the money here. Okay. Here we have another one. I don't think I traded this one this day, actually. Pretty sure Cam did, but it was kind of weird. It was bugging me because it was like buy, sell, buy, sell. If I remember correctly, he did take it that day. And it set up for a sell right there at that level. And expired in the money here. Okay. Right here, here's a double entry. Look at that. Could have done a buy position here, right at that strike. Both would have expired in the money. See, so check out that double entry. It's pretty cool. Okay. Here we have our cross. There's another double entry. Let's see here. Let's see results of that. I haven't been taking the double entry. I've just been testing it. So I will be taking it this month. And I'll get you guys some results too, as long as I'm at the computer. If I'm not anywhere near it, I mean, if I just set it and go, I do that a lot. Like, I'll just come to the computer. If it's set up, I'll set a working order. Great. I can still give you results of how it turned out. I just won't know, like, if the price would have filled, obviously, if I'm not at the computer. So here we have our first entry. This is at 12:45. Okay. Look at this. You had plenty of time to get into that trade. Okay. And right here, so it's set up for a sell. Okay, it was in a buy, it's going to a sell. And let's see, cross occurred actually on this candle. So you could have got a very good entry again. Okay, just set your working orders. Get real used to setting working orders. It's important. Okay, so right there would have expired in the money. Now let's take a look at our second cross. Here we have a second cross. So this would be a buy position. Right there, and it expired in the money, and you had time to get into that one as well. So look at that. Absolutely beautiful. This trade, it just, it kind of baffles me at how easy it is and how consistent it is, especially over time. See here what we have. Okay, that was at 11:30. Oh no, that was a Friday. Excuse me. I should have plotted out the GU before I started this video, but that's okay. Just wanted to show you guys some examples so you know what we're looking at. And okay, expiry 19. Oh, we had a double cross there as well. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so here, we went from a sell position to a buy position. You would have bought at the strike. And here's the second entry. You could have sold at that one. Both would have expired in the money again. Okay. I'm going to update some of the posts on the website. I know there's a lot of information out there that's going to have some of the old information, but just remember you can use it on the Euro USD, the GBP USD. You have a double entry, okay, so a possibility of 2 trades per pair when it sets up like that. And use the strike prices on the Nadex platform. So just use the Nadex chart, all right? I know Thinkorswim is nice. I'm still going to be keeping it up, but, you know, when you go to enter, check the Nadex charts, okay? Very important. You guys have a great one, and I will talk to you later.